Thank you for visiting Past the Wire TV, the YouTube channel of PastTheWire.com.
Computing outside, Classic Empire, head-to-head, down to the line. Cloud Computing wins the Preakness.
Reach the starting gate, it's post time. Cold front, the favorite comes forward. And they're into the stretch, cold front, put to the 10. Cold front does it again. Right at the field of the Amsterdam.
Buongiorno, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Saratoga Today on Past the Wire TV. It's day 34 of the meet. The Travers and all those wonderful, exciting supporting stakes are in the record book. We got another short video for today. We'll talk about a race or two. We'll talk about some takeaways from yesterday's phenomenal card of racing in the Sport of Kings. First, thank you to Amwager, extremely innovative ADW with a bunch of tools for the better for helping to make these videos possible for everybody. Can't thank them enough. Zilla Racing Stables, great partnership opportunities at every level of the game, and they've been making noise at Saratoga all meet. Last but not least, of course, our friends at Spendthrift Farm, who had two Future Stallions win on the card yesterday. Yaupan, in a race we'll talk about for a minute, was just a dead game and super impressive in his race, and Jackie's Warrior as well. So those two are on the Future Stallion roster at Spendthrift Farm, continuing the mark they are making on the Sport of Kings. Great day of racing. Tough to make scores when cards chalk out like that from a gambling perspective. But if you're a true student of the game and fan of the game and lover of the sport, it was hard not to get excited about those races and some of those finishes and what we saw on the racetrack. And one of the things I'll always say, and I hold to, on days like that, you make a lot of good notes. You really, really observe, and you could see things that will pay off on another big day or in another big race or who knows where down the line. Because we saw, Breeders' Cup type horses running yesterday that we'll see there in 2 months, and your eyes are better than anybody else's. Me, I'm a second set of trained eyes for you if you so choose, but your eyes are the best ones to rely on when you're actually making wagers and going after those scores. So there were things I saw and things that you probably saw yesterday that are going to lead to hopefully good decisions down the road, and that's what it's all about. I think on the show, when we talked about, we saw the ball pretty good yesterday. Like I said, there was a lot of chalk, and that made it very, very difficult to make a score or even to be in a position to make a score. Japan, who I liked a lot, I thought was the best horse in the turf race, the Sword Dancer. I think that Rosario's phenomenal ride on Gufu made the difference. And if you watch the stretch run of that race, once Gufu came around and got into contention and split horses and was outside of Japan, Ryan Moore was desperately trying to get out in the stretch. He couldn't do it. He had to drop back, come around, still almost won the race. If he would have forced the jump on Gufu and got it, which I think he could have done, or done something different, the results might have been different. I think Japan was definitely the best horse in there and should have won the race, but I think Joel Rosario with a phenomenally aggressive and strong ride made the difference. And I really thought that Joel's ride made the difference in the Jackie's Warrior race as well. So, big shout out to Joel Rosario for some really, really good race riding yesterday. I thought that Mike Smith was extremely confident on Life is Good, who ran big off the layoff, but I don't think he needed a race at all. I think, more aggressively ridden, it might have been a different type of race, but we'll never know that. And I'm not going to question Mike Smith and what he does on a racehorse, because he's ridden a lot more of them with a lot more success than I ever have. So be that as it may, but from just an observation standpoint, I thought that that race could have gone different if Life is Good was ridden differently. So those are interesting takeaways there. And like I said, I'm pretty confident in my mind that Japan was the best horse. I think Essential Quality proved that he's the best horse as far as the 3-year-olds go, and he's ready to face older and see what he can do against the big boys. I was really torn about him. Didn't not like him at all. Just wasn't sure whether he was going to be able to run another big race or go forward off the Jim Dandy, or if that hard prep in the Jim Dandy was gonna hurt him a little bit. And it didn't. If anything, it helped him. The horse I liked best to beat him, Midnight Bourbon, ran a phenomenal race, hung tough, went to the lead like we thought, cleared the field like we thought, did everything he could to try and win under a perfect ride by Ricardo Santana. Just got run down at 1.25 miles by a better horse yesterday. It happens, but he was definitely in a position to do his best. Just didn't work out for him. But Miles D, who I was very high on, and a lot of people criticized me for liking, I think ran a huge race, and I think went forward off the Jim Dandy. And what I said on the show, and what I said to people that I spoke to about the race was, after the Curlin Stakes, I said, there's no way that Dynamic One beats him next time. He'll turn the tables on him. And we discussed that and why on the show. And we were right about that for sure. And he ran good. And, there was the triple, the 3 contenders that we discussed about, if you're so inclined to bet that way. I don't bet that way and didn't. But it was certainly not, in my opinion, a difficult triple to just nail pretty good if you decided to go with Essential Quality on top. So be that as it may. Great racing, great card. Yalpan, I thought, was very impressive. We called that right, too. I mean, the race went through him. He was going to either get the lead and get the 7/8, or he wasn't. He did, and he got the win, but it was an interesting race to watch. I didn't like Firenze Fire. I thought if he was going to get beat, it would have been by someone else. But Firenze Fire really showed up, ran huge, and did something that, interestingly enough, he learned when it happened to him. A horse under Jeremy Rose a couple of years back tried to savage Firenze Fire in the stretch, and Firenze Fire went to savage or bite Yalpan in the stretch, which you don't see a lot, but we've seen it before. I've got a picture of a famous incident involving a savage behind me, but it does happen. Horses do it. I looked at it as a sign of competitiveness, and if I can't get by him, I'll bite him. You can't beat him, bite him. Maybe a lot of people thought Firenze Fire was going to go by him. I will say this: I don't think that. I think they were fighting and ding-donging, and it probably would have been a head bob to the finish. I know you may think he was going to go by, and you may think you even know it, but until they do it, you really don't know it, because that horse on the inside, Yalpan, was dead game and was fighting back, and you just don't know what was going to happen. But it was a heck of a finish, even with the attempted savage. So, just super, super exciting races. Latrushka was the one who fooled me, but I can't really say she did. Dunbar Road made a big move. Looked like she was going to win it all at 25-1. The whole field was coming. I mean, she held on. She cleared. She got the lead a little easier and got away from them a little easier than I hoped that she would. But I would say at the short price, the way the field was coming, she got home. But I wouldn't say she wasn't a little vulnerable yesterday. That said, she was dead game. Super impressive. Hats off to her. She's legitimate, no question about it, and they've done a really good job with bringing that gal around and keeping her good, and she's a serious racehorse. Great day, just a phenomenal day of racing on every level. Saratoga gets a little anticlimactic after the Travers. I remember when it was a 4-week meet and the Travers was the next to last Saturday. It was always like a big downer after the Travers. The place kind of cleared out. It was somewhat dead. But make no mistake, it's still Saratoga. There's 2 weeks now left, I think. Maybe a week and a half, whatever it is. I don't know. But there's still world-class racing up there, and there's still opportunities up there, and there's still going to be some interesting things to watch and follow, and there are still always scores to make up there. So we'll just keep rocking and rolling with that. 2 things on today's card we'll talk about. One is a horse in the 6th race, a horse that we talked about before on a rainy day when they came off the turf, and that's a horse that unfortunately drew terrible on the outside vagaries. A Chad Brown first-time starter who's 7-2 on the morning line. Why I've been watching and waiting for this horse to run. When the race came off the grass that day, the horse scratched, but this is the horse that I thought was working very competitively with McCulloch, who was a first out winner for Chad and is very highly regarded. And this horse works very competitively with that one. So I have a feeling that she can run. The 10-hole, first time out, going a mile and the 16th at Saratoga is no day at the beach, even for a runner. But if anybody can get him to do it, I would say it would be Chad and Irad. There's a lot of horses in there that look like they've got some potential and some, decent looking runners. I heard a little buzz on Shug's horse that Irad's brother Jose rides. Don't know what that will transfer to in the afternoon, but I do know some people that have their eye on that one and like that horse as well. But I've been waiting and watching for vagaries. I hope that she would get a better post. She didn't. She stuck in the 10-hole for the debut, but we'll see what happens. The better talk now is the stake on the card. I looked it over. I thought it was an interesting race. It's a mile on the inner turf course. You like a horse with some speed in there, but I thought there was a lot of speed. I thought Ranger Fox, even out of the maiden, was going to have speed from the inside with Rosario. Dr. Jack is, turning back, but is not without some pace. Wolfie's Dinah Ghost looks to have a little bit of pace. Dreamer's Disease, the 5, looks to have a little pace. So I was looking at the horses that were going to come off it, and that was the other half of the field, the 4, 6, 7, and 8. Of those, I thought the 4 was a cut below these, even though she's won 2 in a row up at Saratoga, and we see these horses at Saratoga just win again and run up little streaks up there. But I wasn't sold on this New York bred gelding to be able to go, 3 for 3 at the Spa this year. Even with Luis Saez, if he does it, he'll fool me. He's 2 for 3 at the Spa lifetime, but if he goes forward again and wins this, I'm out. I won't cash. But the other ones I thought all were interesting. In effect, I thought was super interesting coming out of the Grade 2 Hall of Fame. Troubled Trip, blocked, had to wait. Lascano rides him back. He'll be coming from well off the pace, but I think he'll be coming. I would like him a lot more if they were going a mile and an 1/8 or a mile and a 16th, but they're not. But I think he's definitely going to be coming. I would like Sifting Sands a lot more, but I'm going to take a little shot against him, even though I respect him, and I'll tell you why in a second. First, he's the horse that beat us at 28-1 when we had Shug's horse, Never Explained, at 26-1 for a big score early in the meet back on July 24th. And that's when we got off to that rocky start of horses getting eased, of seconditis, of bad trips, and everything else that can go wrong at a meet. But Sifting Sands is the one that beat us, but if you look close at Sifting Sands, his worst races come when he's not on Lasix. Coincidence? I don't think so. Maybe, but I don't think so. Can win, but the 2 wins are on Lasix. So that leads me to, and the 2 bad races are off Lasix. He'll be off Lasix because it's a stake today. So we'll see how that goes. But that leads me to the 7, Straw into Gold. Another one that can come off the pace, but I think he's closer to the pace, and I think that's going to be important going a mile. This New York bred will be closer to the pace than the other closers. So I got him, sitting off it, but getting the jump on everybody else with IRAD and going to mile, that might make the difference. He couldn't win in an allowance state bred race last time out as the favorite. And that's a little bit of a concern because he's going to have to step up here and beat probably better horses than he faced in there. But Irad, Clement, they run back here. I figure the way the race shapes up, he's worth a shot for me. So I'll be looking at the 6 In Effect and the 7 Straw into Gold in that race, leaning a little bit to Straw into Gold, and we'll see what happens. Enjoy the races today. Enjoy the 2 dark days, Monday and Tuesday. We'll reconvene on Wednesday for Saratoga Today. Going to this last part of the meet. Try and find some scores, some shots to take, and some takeaways as well to look for going forward out of this meet. And thanks everybody for tuning in. Hope you all did well yesterday. Although with those prices, it's a little tough, but great racing nonetheless. And ciao for now. See everybody on Wednesday, if not sooner.
Nobody does it better.